Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us once again. I have to my right
Big Banks.
And I am Stroobs, as you should well now know. Interesting topic to get to today. This involves the freshman congresswoman from Minnesota. So let's get into it. Controversial, I guess you could say, freshman congresswoman, part of this new class of radical progressives. As you know, from the Minneapolis area, she's on the Foreign Relations Committee, Ilhan Omar. Not doing herself any favors with some of the statements she's made since January, since she came into the House. But more recently, she was blasted for these comments made at a CAIR, Council of American Islamic Relations conference. Take a look.
Our Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. She's not backing down from the controversy over these comments about the 9/11 terror attacks.
Here's the truth. Far too long, we have lived with the discomfort of being a second-class citizen. And frankly, I'm tired of it, and every single Muslim in this country should be tired of it. CAIR was founded after 9/11. Because they recognized that some people did something and that all of us were starting to lose access to our civil liberties.
Yeah, controversial, of course, not very pleasant, other than the fact that she's completely wrong about the founding of CAIR. CAIR was not founded after 9/11. It was, in fact, we did our research, founded in 1994. And this whole idea, her take that, aside from the derogatory and kind of insensitive 9/11 comments, this whole idea that Muslim Americans have been treated as second-class citizens since 9/11, give me a break. I think this country, for the most part, has bent over backwards and has taken extreme measures to try to ensure the humanity and the fairness and the equity of Muslims, people who are religiously Muslim but also American. There is no distinction. There is no second-class citizenship of any sort, regardless of what you think has happened during the Trump years. I think that is patently and blatantly false, and the record should certainly be corrected in that regard. If you look back to the Bush administration and some of his statements, the proof is in the pudding there, without a doubt. But a little insensitive, perhaps. Some people did something. You gotta assume, you gotta believe that rubs people the wrong way. That's not the way to. Is it diminishing? Is it kind of mischaracterizing, or is it otherwise just insensitive to people lost on that day? One of the worst tragedies and one of the worst days in American history. Probably, absolutely. So, what else happened? What else has happened in the intervening months? Well, DJT, POTUS Trump, he had to tweet something. He did this. This is his style. This is his MO. This is the way he operates. Here is a tweeted video clip that came from his account just a few days ago.
CAIR was founded after 9/11 because they recognized that some people did something.
So you have no idea right now?
Oh, there's another one. Another plane just hit.
Some people did something.
Oh my goodness, there is smoke pouring out of the Pentagon.
Some people did something.
It just flew straight into it.
Not necessarily mischaracterizing what Omar had to say, what her take was on 9/11, using her words against her in a political sort of fashion, yes, without a doubt. But nothing is overtly erroneous with the video that Trump put out. Not presidential, one might be able to argue, but you know what? Politics is a contact sport. It's an ugly world. So what can you say? Big banks should Well, number one is were Omar statements at the CARE conference, were those a little dismissive and a little unfair and inappropriate for a sitting member of Congress? And the second part, should Trump take his tweet down? Should he take that video down?
Well, the first part, I think that she's trying to minimize history, to give whomever did these great things,
attacks.
Bad things. I mean, we need to call it what it is. It's radical Islamist people who did these attacks against the United States. But she's trying to minimize it to the point that it doesn't have any strength in it no more. Just trying to minimize to help out a cause of her vision of what America should be.
And her vision of America is not great. Here is a Omar tweet from just a few weeks ago where she believes this country was founded on slavery, founded through the worst, most oppressive means. Not correct. That doesn't show a great... We will admit that the United States does not have the best history when it comes to race relations, when it comes to the foundation, enslavement and the treatment of Native Americans. Not pretty, but you've got to understand and you've got to believe in the vision that the Founding Fathers had and the vision of the country, what it represents and what it strives to be, despite past instances of transgressions against different people. So her tweet does not show a love for the root, the origins of this country or its government.
I can only say this as well as that she claims that some kind of way Muslims lost rights. I haven't seen any rights that Muslim Americans lost in the United States.
Correct.
They actually was given more rights. They was given more protections, given more things to make sure that we don't go out there and villainize and target these people for, as she would say, a select few of people who chose to do something that was wrong. Now, again, regardless of how we might think about it, you can't minimize history. And that's what she was trying to do, in my eyes, when you said some people. That's like me saying, in the black community, that, well, blacks are not killing blacks. It's just some people are killing. No, I'm just going to call it, it's other blacks killing blacks. So for Ilhan to say these things is sad. And as to the other part, when it comes to Trump's tweet, no, he don't need to take it down. He still, even though he's the president, and regardless if you want to say presidential or not, he still has the First Amendment, freedom of speech. And the way he wants to spout his freedom of speech is his way, like we're doing right now with ours. So, I mean, you want to villainize Trump for just being a raw, honest person.
He comes at you straightforward. He comes at you raw. He doesn't hold anything back. He's a puncher. He's an equal. Yeah, exactly. He's an equal opportunity puncher. Absolutely.
So my thing is this right here. It's like we want to sit here and villainize the right when we do something wrong. All right. Correct. And the Democrats just want to go.
They always get a pass, though. It seems like there's always that media kind of. They play that card. It seems very well. And I think they've got the media on their side each and every time.
And I think it's unfair. What happened? And granted, during the 40s and the 50s, might not have been the greatest years for Black Americans. But at least media was somewhat fair. They gave it to you straight. But now,
you don't know what to trust. We've been highly critical of the media, obviously, on this program. But what you see now and what you see with the ratcheting up the anti-Trump hysteria constantly when it comes to something like this. If you're in the media, if you're part of the left-leaning media, and you're trying to play it straight, and you're trying to be as give the impression of nonpartisanship and no bias in your reports, then come on, this is one where Omar is clearly out of line and she should be held to account. But all of the 2020 contenders, most of the prominent names have stood up and have backed her. You see some of the tweets we're showing you here. They all think that Trump is in the wrong and Trump went too far.
Yeah.
No accountability. You know what? She's an adult. She's a member of Congress. She's not a child. Let's hold her to account for
and nobody really wanted.
words.
It was self-evident when nobody really wanted to stand up and really admonish her for her anti-Semitic claims.
Her early history, at least the first quarter of 2019, has been very ugly when she tried to talk about the influence of Jewish money, these old ugly tropes and these old memes and other kind of overtly anti-Semitic stuff. She knows what she's doing. She's playing the game. She's playing to her base, really, and there's an ugly element that's not.
It's going to get to the point when she's going to push that card a little bit too far, and it's going to knock it off the table, and there's going to be no other cards still left to be played, and she's going to hurt behind it.
Right. She's pushing the Democrats further left. They're all coming out there having to defend her. But you know what? When you look at the mass of voters, when you look at those either undecideds or those people who were Obama voters in 2012, but Trump voters in 2016, plenty of them in places like Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Florida, of course, absolutely. Tons of those people, Wisconsin, are still out there. Those will be the deciding votes for the 2020 election. And if you have all these 2020 contenders still lining up to support someone like Omar, despite her reprehensible comments and her ugly 2019 thus far of anti-Semitism, you're gonna cost yourself the elections. But well, we got a little off topic there.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, thank you folks for joining in. We'll catch you next time. Please keep liking. Please keep subscribing. We love the comments, and we will catch y'all next time. So, thank you. Peace.